Testing, testing. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the GMTK Jam live stream that I will be doing for the next few days. I have a game in mind that is a play on like Catan, Settlers of Catan. It's using this Isle of Law asset pack that I really like. So I found this, and let's take a look at the jam. Let's take a look at the game jam. And so, where are we at here? We have to go to the scene. This is the Isle of Lore stuff. So, cool little spoiler there. Stick my headphones on. Got some Lord of the Rings lo-fi on right now. Okay. So, what are we doing? I think I've seen... I'm going to just open this out a bit. Wish this camera was a little bit more zoomed out. That would be cool. Wonder if I can edit that. Probably a story for another time, to be honest. Yeah, we'll keep it how it was. All right, cool. So we're here. We're looking at Loop. Loop is the Game Jam theme, and GMTK Game Makers Toolkit, 1.6 million subscribers. Let's go look at their Game Jam page. Just fill ourselves in on the rules. So we've got 3 days almost exactly to do this. So 10 a.m. I think it's a Sunday, my time. We know the theme. Theme is Loop. Entirely up to you what you do with that. Game Jam is currently on. Submit your stuff. You're allowed to do... the reason I'm doing this one, and not the Pirate Jam one, is because the Pirate Jam one doesn't allow just normal games. And Unreal cannot easily, without pixel streaming, do web-based games. So, at least to my knowledge. Who can join? Anyone can join. Game compatibility, keyboard and mouse, pretty simple there. It can have controllers. DLLs should be included. 1 GB limit. If it has online features, you can't edit them. Content for all ages. Assets, you may use pre-existing code and can use whatever art and audio assets you have the legal right to use. But you shouldn't make stuff ahead of time that is specifically for the jam. You should credit all external art and audio in your game description. So we'll be doing that. Can use pre-existing code libraries and functions, which is cool, actually, because the other day we made something. So imagine there's a set of these tiles at the bottom of the screen. We made a line the other day that comes from like a kind of like Monster Train or Slay the Spire style card targeting. And it's got that dotted like Bezier line. So we might use that. That might actually be quite cool. You also create things in a blank Unity project GitHub page or itch.io profile in advance to save time. You can also create things like a blank project. Yeah, I haven't done that. GitHub page, itch.io profile, sure. You can use pre-existing sprites, texture response, models, shaders, animations, sound effects, and music, including public domain assets, assets you have purchased, or assets you have made yourself, or assets that are legally accepted derivative works of existing media. That's interesting. Either way, that means I can use my asset library, which if you've been following along with the streams, we know is bloated, to say the least. Welcome, first viewer. You are first in the chat. Introduce yourself. Say hello. We're going to do a game jam today. It's going to be fun. This time with more planning, and I'll show you the planning that I've done off cam. The planning is really cool, and I have a really cool idea. I'm confident with this one. We're going to make a good one. You must not use generative art or audio, or write your description with AI. So that's fine. Voting, I'm not really in it for winning it. I'm in it for making a game. So I don't care about the voting too much. Useful stuff, tools, assets, GMTK branding, legal stuff. It says here something like, yeah, it's your property, so that's cool. It may show up in the YouTube video. Sure. It better do. It better show up in the YouTube video. It's a super cool idea. Okay, well, we'll close this down. We don't need those two. What what else are we doing for the intro of the stream here? I've got two people. Two. Hello. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Introduce yourselves, please. I'd like to get chatty. So, firstly, I was looking for assets to use, and I came across these assets by a guy called Steven Colling. And he makes some, honestly, really cool, consistent, toony artworks. We've got terrain icons, we've got hex tiles, we've got characters, we've got statuses, we've got a UI pack, which I didn't even know was there before. We've got icons for items, we've got fonts here, we've got tile builders, which is cool. Hopefully I won't need to do that during the jam. I don't want to have to do that during the jam, I should clarify as well. So for terrain icons, we'll go into that one after. So here's the game idea. As soon as I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. So the game theme is called Loop, right? So the first tile is placed for you, and then you pick a tile to start from. Say you pick this one, then you go in a loop, placing down tiles from a set of tiles that you've been given randomly. So you kind of choose where you place those. Then you place buildings on those tiles. So you might get like 2 buildings show up. And then you place your next row, and once you've done that, you've completed this area. It zooms out, and you have maybe these like markers on a zoomed out sort of world map style. Everything basically shrinks away, like all the buildings will go away. The only things that you'll see are sort of the major elements. And you'll see this hopefully with your town name in it would be ideal. So you get to name your city. So it's a chill little game. I love these circle ones and diamond ones. So you might get to even pick the panel that you use. Would be great. So there might be a whole bunch of art curation that I need to do. As for characters, part of me was thinking of having this guy walk to the edge of the tile when you pick a tile, and it like explores the tile, and the tile pops over and he moves over into it, and you have basically a little explorer person who I would pick a character from here and be like, that's the explorer. He doesn't really need to have a sword, for example. He's just an explorer, right? So it might be this guy with the backpack. Like he's kind of like oh, this guy here, the shepherd with the map. Yeah, so it will be this guy, and he'll be going through the tiles, ideally. We have these status icons. We're not going to really need this because we're not doing any direct action-based gameplay. We're doing an explorative, chill game. But we do have a bunch of cool icons, and so one thing that I'd like to do is have, like, let's say this wood here pops up off of the buildings that are near forests, and it pretends that you're getting these resources. So it just has this feeling, this vibe of like this cozy world building, and this place is thriving, even though you're not directly in control of any of that. You're more like choosing what the tiles are and choosing where the buildings go. So a simple game for simple folk. We have some user interface assets, which is cool. So when I get to doing, ideally we'll do some settings menu, like a simple one, just audio, screen resolution, screen type. We've got this cool stuff here as well for highlighting the tiles, which is nice. We also have this to highlight, I guess, building options in this case, and then a whole controller pack, which is also great. So I might try and make this work with gamepad in the time limit. We'll see. Probably won't do that, to be honest. But yeah, so we got that as well. That's going for us. It's pretty cool. Got the terrain icon, so we can look at that later. Yeah, and some animated clouds and stuff, some animated water in the background. And I really want it to be animated, so first we'll get the loop in. Every time I go to a game jam, by the way, I do everything but the core loop. I do all the polish, I do all the feel, I do all the character, I do the animations, I ruminate and pontificate over like the smallest and minute, like non-necessary things. This time, we're going to get the core loop of placing down the tiles, random tiles, place them down. And then the idea is, close all this down now, don't need to look at this anymore. Oh, actually, I want to show you something. Check out the number of tiles. We have all kinds of things. we have clouds, we have swamps, we have wheat fields, we have mountains, deserts. There's deserts in here somewhere. Yeah, there's deserts, little oasis. Super cool. And that leads me on to sort of describe. Oh wait, I've actually got it on my board. So, game jam theme, loop, concept, build a world in a loop. So you start here, you go around in a loop, you do another loop. So that's the main concept. These are all the assets that we have. So we've got like buildings, we've got characters, we've got resources that will pop out of buildings. We do have this other stuff that we probably won't use, although I do really like this style for a UI, like just sort of like pencil sketch. We've got this for the overworld when you zoom out. And to explain what that zoom out bit means, I'll show you the game loop. So I did this morning. I really wanted to plan out the game this time to know the ins and outs, rather than sort of trying to figure it out along the way and getting stressed at the end when I don't really feel like I have a good game. This time I feel like I do have a good game, or a good idea of what the game is, at least. So you start on a new tile, right? This tile's sitting here. Maybe this is even your main menu. It comes up with like the title of the game. There's a little settings cog in the corner. But the way to start the game is to just click this tile, and then around it you will see, and I wonder if I can actually do this quickly. No, I can't do it. I'm going to go to Photoshop and edit a tile. This is just for pre-visualization purposes. Let's I'm over here in Photoshop. I'm just grabbing this layer here. I'm going to select the inverse, close this off. I'm going to just make this like, I think I could, no, I can't change the color. So we'll just say it's like gray at like 50%. File, export, quick PNG, shove it in here for now. T underscore tile ghost, I guess. We'll import that into our file. So where are we here? Game jams, T underscore tile ghost. So when you click it, you'll get a bunch of your options of where you can place. This isn't working very well, but you get the idea. And these all sort of glow, ebb, do something to prompt you to press one of them. And so that's picking your direction. It's a really horrible Photoshop job I've done here, honestly. Don't do as I do. Whatever. Anyway. And then you start placing your buildings in a counterclockwise fashion. Or maybe I'll go clockwise. I think counterclockwise is nice. Then you place your structures. So you place your first tile ring, you place your structures, you place your second tile ring, and then you're complete. You got your names on your items or your buildings that you've placed down. And then you loop, right? So you come back and you get a new tile stat. And the way that that works is say that we've completed this first tile. We'll essentially pick a direction. And so there'll be, I should go back to Photoshop and do this part as well. So we go W, select inverse, Control Shift N, do a color. Oh, would you look at that? And then we'll just make this 50%. Should probably color this in white. There we go. Hide that background. File, export, PNG. T underscore ghost tile. We'll import that. So yeah, imagine you finish your tile. It zooms out. You have this cool moment of sort of seeing your creation amongst a bunch of new ghost tiles that are prompting you to press them. And the idea at that point is you pick a direction, and again, you go counterclockwise and you build out all those islands. And to make it interesting, each time that happens, there's like a deck of what the terrain tiles will be, what types of buildings you'll have. So sometimes it will be a desert, sometimes it will be a lot of ocean tiles, so it will be sort of like Vietnamese islands. Sometimes it will be countryside, forests, sometimes it will be swamps or more mountainous, and so I'll be crafting these decks through probably a data table. I need to expand this game loop a second. So let's get these and bring this down. Zoom out to world map. World Mapo. Let's put this in the middle here. We may as well delete this. Put all of these over here, bring it up to the top. Gonna have to size it down, which is a shame. So this is cool. That's the concept, at least. Actually going to be offset by one, I've realized. Not too sure I'm keen on. I should do my islands in this way. Always going to be offset by one, right? So that's fine. Anyway, so you're prompted to pick a tile. I'll take this, duplicate this over. Gonna need another color for this, just quickly. Go kind of orange color. File export, ghost. Bring that one in. Just a decent level of planning going on right now. What I'm going to do as well is bring this out a bit and expand these. I want to fix this bloody crappy tile I made. It's a major issue right now. Must be fixed. For this one, the issue is it's not the right shape anymore. I need to delete this and go to here maybe. This, copy this. Twist it. I just need one ghost tile, right? Bring this up. Okay, yeah, it's going to be a pretty chill stream. I'm going to try and concentrate this time. I'm not going to try and talk. Maybe I will talk through every piece of the development. I'm not sure. We'll see. Control Shift N. Right click, select inverse. Stick a color down here that's like just 50%. Get rid of that tile. File, export, tile ghost. It's the wrong way around, but that's okay. Import it. Should really just have this constantly open on my other screen. Love that I can barely see it. Not great. Not a great feel. Also not the right scale by the looks. But it does look kind of cool. Having a little bit of a border around them. gives you that honeycomb vibe, and it also gives you this idea. I don't know. Feels more clickable to me when it's just slightly away, like it's a button. Has a bit of, yeah. So I'm going to take this, copy this, put this here. Just make sure that we have our game loop like clearly defined, really clearly defined, like so clearly you couldn't get it wrong if you didn't know what the game was. Yeah. Pick start location. And we'll need a colored tile for that. File export select. Obviously in Unreal I wouldn't need to do this, but I don't seem to be able to colorize without plugin at least. Don't seem to be able to colorize in Figma. Did I not need to twist it? No, I do need to twist it. I just need to do it. Yeah. So you pick a tile, place tile ring 1. What I need to do is allude, at least, to the fact that you have a set of options towards the bottom of the screen. So there'll be a bunch of options here. So I'm gonna show that now. Let's bring in some more images, hopefully. Let's go itch.io, Steven Colling. It has the hex tiles here. I just need one. Yeah, like this one will do. I think this is the wrong orientation to my setup. So I'm doing a diamond. Well, you know, point at the top. He's doing a point to the left and right. I wonder which would look better though. He does them this way here, this way there. I don't think it shows how it would look if it was tilted. Problem being, I need to actually place some artwork into my Fig Jam right now. Yeah, let's just do this manually, I suppose. So we have this tile. I will grab this area here and just try and get rid of some of it. I'll do. New file for that. Hide the background. File. Export. Selected. Just call it aisle tile. What we got? Aisle tiles? We don't have any aisle tiles. We'll do aisle tile 1. That's good enough for previs. So the idea is you have a selection of tiles. And they're all kind of, I don't know, like a hand of cards somehow. Maybe like this one's slightly tilted. Maybe I could just do it random. Maybe that will look cool. I don't know. Kind of coming up with a design here, but basically you have a hand and you've got to place these down. Every time I try and drag this, it doesn't work. Yeah, I'm trying to give the idea here that you go like around. So you do whichever tile you want into the space. Wow, this thing is horrible to use. Wow, it's really not fun. There we go. A shift key. Yeah. So place your tiles into the thing, do it in an order. So you place them down. And then we have tile ring 2, which follows the same logic of picking a start location. Now I should really go in and just make sure we have the full design here. So we're going to take this and this and this. Okay, and we're just going to build this out. So let's go. It's just going to take me a hot minute. So it's like twice the size. It's weird. All right, no, wrong one. This one. Cool. Yeah, no, still too big. Scale it down. Too big for the purposes that I'm going to use it for. Cool. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Wish I could just place this easily. Why are we losing those? So weird. Some of them were just disappearing, and I don't know why. Yeah, see, that one just disappeared again. Oh, come on. Getting used to the order of keys that it wants you to press, because it's not like hold control and drag. It's click, then hold control, then drag in order to move these freely. And then we've got this one. So we will here. Let's just say we start here on this one for whatever reason. Choose ring to start location. Setting up our game loop. I might actually use state tree to control the state of the game, which would potentially give us some nice controls for like events and things like that. And I haven't done that yet, like using state tree to do exactly what it says on the tin, which is control the state of something that's not an AI, right? So that might be a cool process. New while start. It's not like this. It's like this. Pick a start location. Place your ring. Okay. Gonna copy this over here. Yeah, it gets a little bit tricky because the world is going to be big. So I'm going to have to, it's good to know because I'm going to have to solve that problem later. So it might be better to actually have these to the side. Yeah. Solving UX problems before we get there. It allows us to highlight the cool artwork. And I can just put this over here and just say, put these on there. It allows us to highlight the cool artwork, which I like. I like doing that. I want to make sure that the art is front and center, like, and always actually centered, like actually centered. Let's take this. Like I said earlier, it doesn't let you move them. I can move it with my mouse, maybe? No, I can just do this. It's like, sure. Okay, now I can move it. Sure. And so this is like, yeah, put these on here. Okay, pick a start location. Pick a start location. Place tile ring 2. It says complete here. There's a couple of things that I'm missing. For example, when you click on the tile in the middle, it's going to give you an option to give it a name and an icon from a preset list, possibly. It's actually probably going to be whatever the type is. So this kind of informs us a little bit, apart from space and a loft, but this pretty much every other one of these is a biome that we're going to go with, an Arctic. And what that means is that when you get given your tiles and you get given your buildings, they're based on one of these. So there'll be 5, 10, 15 options of decks that can be given to you, randomly given to you, and that will determine what each area is. So when you get down here and you're zooming out to the world map, picking a new location for a new loop, pick new isle, start. And then it's going to zoom in basically. So let's just put this at the end of the flow. Makes more sense to me. Let's put this over here. Yeah, let's put that here. Pick a new start, and then I can, if I could just grab this centerpiece. What we end up with, if I can get these to be the same size again, is a series of, like, you've looped it, right? And so now you've got a bigger world. So that's pretty cool. And I just did some color shifting, but the idea obviously is that it'll be desert, it'll be more oceanic places, it'll be wheat field islands, it'll be swamp places, it'll be Arctic places, rocky places. We'll have loads of cool little islands that we're making, and it's not going to take long. Like, it's going to be a real sweet, quick thing. I'm worried about optimization because these are all just going to be actors. Yeah, so here, place structures. Obviously, I did a lazy one there. So let's go find the structures. I'm worried about optimization. We will see. I need the structures though. Structures. Where are they? I have them. I have a picture of them. This is the asset set, Steven Colling. It's going to be a pretty cool one. Yeah, here. So copy this. Let's put this in a new Photoshop doc. And essentially, we've got to design something to house these as CADs, because this works, but the buildings are just like on their own. So that's not going to work very well. If we can get a nice scale box here, yeah. Where we've gone full screen. I've lost a whole bunch of stuff on my Photoshop here. Where's all my windows gone? Where's my layers? If anyone knows how to use Photoshop in the tooltips, please let me know right now. I know F is like full screen, but I've literally lost all of... Oh, got something back. Oh, F7. Cool. So yeah, Control C, Control V. It didn't keep my marquee select. Bloody annoying. Got to do it manually for each one. And I don't know what the scaling is, which is kind of lame. Just doing this as a quick example. Let's take this one as well. And maybe this one. Oh. Okay, so hide this. Cool. Got this. Like we said, need to do some sort of light UI design. We'll look at this Dorfromantik in a minute, because that is, after I came up with the game idea, I was like, I wonder if there's any games like this. And then obviously Settlers of Catan comes to mind. But Dorfromantik actually, let's just take a quick look at it now. Just jumping all over the place. We'll get back to the UI in a second. So in this one, you have a list of tiles. You can kind of see what your next ones are, and you kind of plan ahead. All of these other ones, you don't know what they are. They each provide score of some kind, and they combo with the nearby tiles. There's another game called Dawnfolk that does something similar, but on a square grid. And also, like Islanders, also does something around proximity-based bonuses. Of course, Catan also does something similar, if I remember. Maybe not. Well, if it lands on your tile, you get all the surrounding resources, right? Something like that. So we're going to have some proximity-based stuff. If you place a building down near a forest, that forest and all connected forests, or the forests in a radius, will sort of like give you some points. But this is a game where the questions don't make sense and the points don't matter. So in our one, we can see all the tiles. Instead of being able to place anywhere, we have to place it in a loop. And instead of building like a huge world off the bat, right, we're building little tiled islands in a loop. So there's a few differences to Dorfromantik, but it is a good reference. I just wanted to bring that one up. I'm not on my account right now, but I did buy this last night so that I could maybe play it today. And also I'm listening to Lord of the Rings lo-fi in the background, but you can't hear it because it's probably not copyright safe. Okay, so back to the internet. We've got the Isle of Lore tiles on there. We've got that. Okay, so it's this one that we want. Let's have a look at his UI pack, because again, we own this pack, so we're just gonna go take a look here. We said we would take this one. Let's get that. Control N, V, W. Okay. Sure. File export. T_test highlight. I might do it for the other one as well. Just want to test how this basically looks and feels. I'm gonna have like a really solid and pretty complete, I would say, design doc before the end of these first few hours. So we'll get that. Hide this file. Export T_tile highlight test. Obviously in the actual pack I have the imagery, but I'm just doing this for speed right now. For the buildings, we still need to figure that out. So we probably want some kind of border. I think these are quite cute. It's almost like a mahjong tile or something. It's cute. I like it. We're going to go with this. Something like this. I'm just going to put all of these together in a pile. This we already took. Basically all of this minus... It's not going to let me move them at the same time. Wonderful. Okay, let's move you over here. The reason I'm doing this is so that I can literally just cut this project to here for now. We'll composite this in Unreal when we actually get to doing this properly. And that's the original image here. All right. So part of me wants the item to sort of sit just off the tile. Then maybe even like have some sort of like animation going on when it's in Unreal, but this will do for now. So we're just going to export a bunch of these test items. T_test building _ 1. Wow. Oh, hey, Guillermo. Nice to see you. We're doing a game jam again today, this time with a lot more planning than the previous ones. So we're hoping it's going to go a lot better this time. We're doing a lot more process. We're doing it like I would do a game. If I was making a game, I would do a lot more planning than I have shown on my previous game jams. And I'm not super proud of the previous game jams I've done. And I think I'm going to be proud of this one. So we can all be proud of this one. We can all be proud of this one together. I really love this artwork from Steven Colling. I saw it and it was just immediately like, I want to make a cozy game. I want to make a cozy game. I want to make a cozy game that when you put a tile down, all the nearby tiles do a ripple. That when you finish a whole area, there's like a nice reveal of your open world. That sort of thing. I want it to feel real juicy, but yeah, planning is good. Planning is important. Sometimes we or I get so caught up in just wanting to hit the ground running because obviously I'm specialized in technical, so I just want to start making things. This is making things, and it's artistic as well. It feels slightly artistic. Cool. Where were we? Place structures, right? So here we can get rid of this. Take this. Get this in. Get this in. Bring it to the front. Okay. Place structures. Of course, it's going to do this again. That's fine. That's just fine. That's cool. That's not cool. Why can't put it above? Below? Put it below here. Yeah, there. No? Okay. Whatever. Let's Let's just say it's a bunch of tiles like this. We could just deselect everything. That'd be great. There we go. Oh, of course it's... Oh my god. Why does nothing ever behave in a sensible manner? It's hilarious sometimes. Hex-based gameplay? Yeah, dollar. Uh, it's not even gameplay. It's a chill, cozy game where you're just going to build a little island world thing. I don't know how to do this bloody layout though. Got to shrink it down. I'm going to have. There'll be a max number of items that you'll have in this option list, and you won't be able to place all of them. In fact, you might only get two options or two. You can have a whole list, I guess. So yeah, we could list like a bigger list, but you can only place two things down, I think, in this tile, and then when you grow to your next tile, maybe you get more options. Like you can place 3 down the second time round, or 4. And this doesn't really sell the concept, so we'll just move some things around. But hey, you get a bunch of options. You can place them down on your world. You only get 2, so there'll be a number somewhere, like, which I should show. I should definitely show a number. So we'll put this here. I am on my desktop version of Figma, which means I can actually use the font from the game. I just need to go and install it. So bear with me while I go and install the font that I've bought from Steven as well. Super cool font. Just going to go find it and install it. Doop. Isle of Law. We've got 2 fonts. Oh, I got the UI pack right here. Could have been importing this stuff directly. Oh well. Okay. Let's go through this. So I've got a game dev stuff, I've got my assets, I've got Isle of Lore, I've got this and this, which we will extract. It only extracted honey blot, so we'll extract the other one as well. Okay, so we have honey pigeon. More. Install for all users, because I'm on my work profile right now. Cool. This one, both of these. Don't know why there's 2. Oh, it's true type and open. We'll go for true type, I suppose. I don't really know what the difference is. An actual UI designer, artist, typography expert, iconography person could tell me what the difference there is between open and true. Maybe it was important. Either way, it's installed now. So I should, if I get a plugin, font. How do you get the plugins here? This one? Font. Select. I would like to select a font, please. Font. This again. Plugins. Font Replacer Ultimate paid. Font Awesome Icons. Font Replacer paid. Come on. Give me the one I used literally the other day. Font Picker. It's called Honey something. Honey. Might need to close this. Reopen it. Welcome to my generic desktop background that changes based on Windows preferences. This font picker. Oh, It's not going to give me it. Can I bookmark it? Click. Run. Honey. Yeah. Look at this. Now we're theming. We're theming now. That's awesome. Let's do it. Theming the entire game design doc. Click. Does that run it? That doesn't run it. Ah, here we go. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. The main thing that I was doing here was saying that we would have like the number 2. And so you've got 2 tiles to place, and then when you place your first one, it will go down to 1. So that's cool. We will copy pretty much all of this and move it. Now we just have an arrow that won't move because the arrows in this program, they just don't move. Anyway, place our structures. Cool. Pick a new start location. This is our final world map. That's sort of the result at the end of the 2 loops. With the you do this loop, and then you do another loop here, 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 here. And if you want to keep going, you can just do another loop. If you didn't know, the theme of the game jam is loop. So this is the loop. This is the loop. We're also going to break a loop today, which is that every time I've done a game jam on stream recently, it's ended up being really stressful. For me, obviously, for the viewers, it's probably fine. There was a guy that actually stayed with me for like 24 hours. It was crazy. Why have I got another meeting at 10 o'clock? I already said I didn't want to do a meeting. When did that pop up? I'll be right back. Break. Mute. Okay, well, I'm back. I'm back. You stuck with me through the please bear with me stage of this live stream. So I didn't get a response. I think I missed the meeting, or they are busy, or something. So anyway, moving on. New aisle starts. Click this. Get to pick a location. Pick a location. Get some options. Start placing your tiles down in the order. Once you've done that, you get to place some buildings down. You get to place 2 down. Place 2 buildings down, then it zooms out. You get to pick a new start location for the second ring. So loop number 2, you pick this location, place down tile ring 2, not complete. Got to place our buildings first, don't forget that part. Move this over. Let's get this. Maybe this time you get like 4 options. We'll have to do some layout with this. Like, this will probably be over to the right slightly whilst you're placing these buildings, maybe. Or I'll do it so that these buildings are in a more like this. Probably be a bit nicer. We're solving design problems before we're even in the engine. Feels great. Feels honestly quite good. Because then all I've got to do is go build it. I always moan that I don't have a designer around. It's like, well, why don't you just sit there and do some design work? Makes sense? So caught up in being technically minded and building things that I've got no time to think about straight up design. Well, then sit down and find something that inspires you and do some design. Sometimes it's as simple as that. I should turn this stream into like a Bob Ross, like, happy little islands. Look at these happy little islands. Okay. Structures. Struct. Yours. Okay. We have our full game loop. Let's take a read. Game Jam is called Loop. Found out that there's a game that's already doing what I want to do called Dorfromantik. But anyway, the Game Jam is called Loop. I found the Isle of Lore assets really inspiring, and I wanted to make something that felt a little bit like Catan. So the way that our loop works is you have this new island just floating in the middle of an ocean. And when you click on it, you get an option to pick a location. So you pick a location and you start placing tiles down from that location in a circle. Then you place some structures down, in this case, 2 of the random structures that you got given. Then you zoom out a bit and you get to pick a new start location for your second ring. So your second loop. Place all the tiles down in that loop. Place the structures down in that loop. So we've done 2 sets of tile placements, 2 sets of get a squirrel for your shirt pocket. Just got completely distracted from my train of thought by looking at chat. Place your structures on your second loop. Then that's complete. I do need to add in the naming section. So I do need to do that. Anyway, then it zooms out. After you've named everything, I guess, it zooms out, and now you get to pick a tile from here. I'm actually going to skip this last one. Zoom out to world map. Pick new tile. I liked it how it was before. I mean, it's kind of superfluous information. I could just put it in. I could do what I said. Let's do what I said. Control Shift Z? No? Okay. And pick new tile. Get rid of this. Let's put this over here. Okay. So you zoom out. Oh, I lost my yellow. God damn it. Okay. There. Zoom out to the world map and pick a new tile. It's like, oh, that wasn't the end of the game, or something is happening. So you go all the way, you click on one of those tiles and it zooms in, and you get basically it reintroduced with what you saw in the original main menu when you first landed in the game. It's just this with some water around it, and you're like, oh, okay. So you click it and you do the loop again, and then eventually you end up with a really cool world. And that's the game, and that'll go on Steam hopefully, and everything will be cool. Someone on Twitter actually did this, which is a cool, slightly faded rendition of what we see from the tiles. And they've got some stuff that they've done with it. Like they've put some red bushes in here. They got some mud patch items. They got some location markers which are cool. They got some paths. So there's a couple of things that I'm going to write down now that are around just getting thoughts down on paper around things that I want to do in terms of animation. Before I do that, before I dive into what I want to do in terms of polish animation, feel, music, I need to finish up the UI part. So, new aisle start. We need the UI pack. I will be right back, actually. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back again. Hello again. Welcome. 6 people who are still with us. Congratulations. You made it through the second break. And um, where was I? Yes, I was saying I need to come up with a UI piece for this. Which means I need to find the UI pack again. So here's the UI pack. We have this element, which is cool. However, despite that being cool, I really, really like the sketchily pencil style of this. So I'm going to steal this quickly. I'm going to throw this into Photoshop and just sort of like riff, jam, whatever you want to call it, a quick modification. So we'll overwrite this. We'll create a new. Why haven't I got anything? I have nothing in my view. Like, where's all my font styles and stuff? Okay, somewhere in here. I doubt it's styles. No, it's not styles. Window, character, Okay, we're going to do it from here. We want H, tiny bit. We want to shrink it down a bit, and we need it to be white, but we can't color it because our top bar has disappeared. Character styles, nope. Window, color, white. There we go. Choose icon, we'll call it. I'd actually like to not have text, because if we can avoid text, I don't need to worry about localization, but yeah, like why would you need text? Why would you need text here? We'll do it, because it's never going to be longer than this bar here, so it'll be fine. Hey, Sad. I will sidetrack this for a second and go and take a look at the game jam. So I'm doing the Game Makers Toolkit Game Jam. The theme is loop. I found this art by Steven Colling that I really like, that I got from his itch.io. Purchased these artworks. It's these cool tiles. It's got some buildings, some characters. And so I want to create a world building game with all these different sort of biomes in a deck building kind of game. So you start off with a tile and you pick a start location, and your first loop as part of the theme loop is to pick a location here and then place tiles down in a loop. These tiles will be random based on the biome that this area is. So this is forest, so it will be like pine forests. Next part of the loop, or the game loop, is to place structures on those tiles. And in this case, we have 2. Next part of the loop is to pick a new start location. So we zoom out and we have to build another loop of tiles around the thing that we've just created. Meanwhile, ideally, there's little people moving around the cities and like farming trees and little icons popping up of wood that are like, you know, they're living their best lives, right? Hey, potato soup. So these guys are living their best lives. They're moving around. They're picking things up. That's your second loop. You fill this in. You start placing your buildings down here. I might either automatically create roads or let the player place the roads themselves. I haven't decided on that yet. Once you've done that second loop of placing the structures down, your tile is complete. Congratulations. You've built a little isle. An isle of lore that has like named locations, which is what I'm about to design in a second, is like, how do you pick those names? And then you zoom out. And so the macro loop, now we're on the macro, sort of like what is the wider game, is to select a new location, like a different biome essentially. And then it loops all the way back around, so back on the theme of loop, and we have a new tile. And this time it could be a desert, and it could be Arctic, or it could be, what else have we got? It could be mountainous, it could be plains, it could be swamps, It could be rocky biome. It could be anything, right? It could be grasslands. It could be forests. Uh, so that happens, which informs what these tiles are, informs what these buildings look like, and the colors that they have. You do this loop again, but this time you're looping in this macro circle, and you can imagine that loops again, right? So it goes out one bigger and one bigger, and the escape screen will just be like, I'll come back later. Instead of quit, it'll be like, I'll be back, or something cute and cozy, right? And so what you end up with towards the end is this kind of like ocean island world with all the fog of war kind of removed out the way, and you've got all these different biomes that are connected, and there's roads between them, and hopefully if you zoom in, this might not happen in the game jam, but I do intend to put this as an idea up on Steam, that it would have little characters moving down the roads with little carriages. And so let's go take a look at those characters because they are quite cute. So this is our guy who's going to be moving around the world. Basically, when you click on a direction for a tile that you want to go in, let's go here, a little guy will pop up and he'll move over to this edge, and then this will fill up, blink. I want to do a lot of nice animation. Yeah, so we've got our explorer with his map and his little shepherd stick. He's going to go do his thing. He might have a dog. We might give him a dog. Around farmhouses, we could spawn chickens and other farm animals. We can have horse-drawn carts that move between bigger city settlements. Once you do your second tile, you'll have these like carriages going between towns or cities. And when you're zoomed out, we have this this asset pack here called the Overworld Terrain, sort of like terrain tiles pack. And so when you're zoomed out, I want it to feel more like a world map rather than like the micro map. So in the macro view, you'll get your city name that you chose, and a corresponding like biome type, because there is this is forest, right? But there is also Arctic, ocean, this, that, and the other. And so I'm going to make decks that I'm going to make like 6 decks that have different cards and different buildings in. At the moment, I'm just planning it all out. So I've just been planning it out on stream, talking about what it is. I know exactly what it is now. I have like a really good vision of what it is. I'm just solving some of the last remaining parts of the design. So right now I want to do a name select and an icon select here. So let's finish that. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. File, export, save as. Icon select. This might not actually make sense. Let me go take a look at his packs 1 second. So we have this terrain icons pack, right? This icon is going to be based on the biome, but it's going to have your name at least. So that's it. Like, you're not picking this. You're not picking this. So this is not actually necessary. So let's just copy one of these out the way. And let's just get rid of all this. Pretty cool icon, actually, to be fair. There's so much stuff in these packs that I could utilize. What I wanted to do was just bring this over here. Bring this up. Delete some of the extra stuff. Oops. Wrong one. Delete. Oh, what's going on here? There we go. Delete this. Okay. So we have a cool little thing here. And the idea is in here, it will have some names. So how big is this text? Oh God, text. So what we'll do is we'll provide the player with a bunch of cool place names. We go back and look at the completed tile here. We've got like Swordsman's Inn, Moonstone, Occult Cave, Hayfork. Like Hayfork is the name of a place, right? So as an example, Hayfork. And the names will be based on the biome. So in the pack that details, in the data asset that details what tiles are available, what buildings are available, it'll be also like what names are available. And so if you're in a plains that has a lot of these assets, you'll get more farmer oriented names. If you're in a mountainous place, it'll be more dwarven themed, maybe. If you're in a swamp, you get the idea. If you're in a desert names, right? So those will be your like preset options. And so mainly because I always find it stressful naming places myself. Or maybe I'll give the player the ability to do it themselves as well. Maybe why not both? Why not both? So we could have like enter name, enter custom name, and then we could have a little bar. To make it less oppressive, I'm gonna just center align it so it's not this like mega divider. It's a little less totalitarian. It's a suggested divider. It's not, yeah. And so then we'll have the preset names. And so this will also be choose name. Hayfork. I'm listening to Lord of the Rings right now, so I'm going to use a couple of places from Lord of the Rings as tiles. So this new this down here. This does need to be clear that it's like the end of the line. But maybe it can still be central. Just it needs to be obvious that it's where the scroll box kind of exists. The scroll bar, I should say. That do. And Hayfork, sure. Anyway, I've realised that my my work has been messed up here. But only on some of them. And if it didn't bother you, I question your UI morals. But that is off by 1 pixel. Still off by 1 pixel. This game should be lots of fun. It's going to be chill. It's not going to have gameplay. It's not going to have the ability to control a character. It's not going to have combat. It's not going to have enemies that encroach. At least in what I'm designing today, it's not going to have any of that. It's going to be very chill. This is nice. I'm happy with this. The names, I would say that the color on. Hey, I've got all my top bar stuff back, and everything on the right is back. What? I don't know what happened earlier, but I'm back to having everything that I wanted. I'm going to change the color of the font on all of these. In fact, for this one, usually what I do in Unreal is it will actually be really faded. Oops, shouldn't have done that. Let's put it in here like this. Okay, and then this will be our swatches. We just picked a color. That's way too dark. Was this the color? Yeah, it was like just not black. As long as it's not black, that's the main thing. Cool. Control E. Actually, I don't need to Control E. Control S. I'll test. I'll call it file export. Okay, it's not going to let me export now. File export. Quickest PNG. Name select. So that comes into play over here. That gets us a name select on the go. Now, cool. So that goes there. When you place buildings, you also get the opportunity to choose the name of your buildings, right? Because as we saw, I wish I could move this. As we saw at the end here, like buildings have names, right? So there's a cave here, there's a moonstone here. I would like it if you're able to move those around to your liking as well. But yeah, so I think that's the game. I think that's most of the game. Enter custom name, or you get to pick from this list. It makes it a lot less stressful. I always find it difficult to pick a name. Just use random. Made a racing game. Nice. Yes. I mean, it fits the theme, right? It's a track as long as it goes in a loop. And you do multiple laps. I think that works. What's it called? Okay, so I'm going to list down the events. So here I've got like on placement. So this should be like on tile placement. What are the things that are going to happen, right? We're going to ripple the tiles. We're going to play a sound. We're going to probably center the remaining tiles on the panel on the left. Center remaining options. We're going to, depending on if it's if it's the end of a loop, move to structure placement. We are going to have on structure placed. Just call this placed. We're going to have, we're going to duck the tile, or let's say, like we're going to bounce the tile. We're going to sort of, I say, spawn some kind of resource item that like ebbs up and above the tiles in the local area. So if you imagine, if I place near this forest here, if I place a building here or even here, this tile and this tile should both sort of like do something that says well done, basically. Like just feels cozy, feels cute, tactile, bit of endorphins. That's the vibe that we're going for. So we just want it to feel good, right? That you made the right decision. You put it in a cool place. It's near some trees, and that's gonna result in some reward. Although this is a game where the questions don't make sense and the points don't matter, so there'll be some circles that fill up, but they don't mean anything. They're just the thing that they mean is well done. You're building a world, and it feels fun. Um, that is the end goal. It just goes for as long as you want to play. Um, Definition of cozy game. There doesn't need to be a goal. It doesn't need to have combat. So yeah, when I place the building down here, I want the tile to do something, and I want the nearby tiles that are related to that do something as well. At least pop up some sort of score points. So a point or resource pop on this / nearby tiles, or this and nearby tiles, I should say. So that'll be just on the structure placed, and then if last structure move to next ring or complete, I'll say next loop. Let's rename some of this as well. Place tile, and we'll, instead of using ring, we'll call it a loop, because I think that puts us in the mindset that we want to be in. Because the Game Jam theme is loop, if it wasn't clear. Okay. So I want to have like top right resource circles. So this is just things like wood, or hay, wheat in this case, stone, food. I mean, what else can we do? So we got wood, we got stone, we got water, I guess. I kind of want like meat and fish. Yeah. So yeah, just etc. I'm gonna say just etc. etc. Whatever. These will be the main ones, but I would like to have just like a bunch of little circles. You can maybe hover on it, and it opens up a bar, and then you can sort of inspect different circles of progress, just how much of that stuff you've got, and it'll just have like a little level number or something. In fact, let's go design one of them. Let's take this icon here and go back to our Photoshop. Control N. Let's get a little bit bigger here. Put this in. Delete the exterior. This, this. And then we'll just get a circle in here quick. Why don't I have... Oh, yeah, I'm a fool. Duplicate the layer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I'm doing right now is setting up like the idea of a progress bar. It's enough to be like, hey, yeah, a progress bar, right? And it will take a color maybe from what we're looking at. And it does want to have a number. I do want to have a number in there. So let's say this was at the top right. That number is probably too small. 22. And just so it's obvious what it is, I'm going to use a number that's more obvious than a line. So either we have the number at the bottom or we have the number at the top, and we rotate this around so it's like progress to completion. I kind of like it filling up possibly the other way. I don't know why. Like going around. Our game is played in a loop that's counterclockwise, so we should keep that in mind. So maybe this loop goes counterclockwise? Just to match the tile order? But like no progress bar ever feels like that direction on a circle bar. It would be cool if the surrounding tile... Oh, let me read this. I've got a few messages that I missed. Oh no, okay, I read that one. It would be cool if the surrounding tiles also bounced, like a pulse from the placed tile, then the next ring, then the next ring. Yeah, I have that written down. I do have that written down. In fact, I might have already put the video reference in here. I did not. But yeah, the ripple tiles was the first. The ripple was the first thing I wrote down. The other thing is that I haven't written down yet is and I should write this down before I forget it, is tiles are on a 3D hex that have a wave-like height variation across the world. So the camera angle would be just like very slightly tilted, and tiles, or at least aisles, would be like slightly raised, and so, and it would be based on some kind of noise map, right? So then where the blacks are, it's a little bit lower. Where the whites are, it's a little bit higher. You can imagine like a terrain height map, yeah. And so all the tiles are just slightly shifted up in the z-axis, and then because now it's 3D, I might do like a day-night cycle. So that's another thing that I was thinking was like day-night loop. It's a day-night loop because it's just another loop. So that'd be cool. AI workers doing routes. And guess what? They're doing it on loop. They're literally just going from their little house to the forest. Some dust happens. They go to the town hall. They go back to their house. Night passes. They come back out. They do their thing. If you've played recently, I mean, there's loads of games like this, but I played this beaver game recently, like Timberborn. Man, is it great! Like just to see all these little beavers moving around this big open world. It's really cool, and it's a technical challenge. I'd like a technical challenge, not during the game jam, which is why I should color some of these as like primary, secondary stuff. This is really just a thought dump, actually. This is what I'm going to build. This stuff is what I might build. Like, this is just extra, right? This is what I may build. I don't know if I'll get to it all. So we were looking at the resource bar. I'm gonna go with this. File, export, selected, game jams, working aisle, T underscore resource test. So let's bring that in. Cute little resource test thing. Essentially, this will sit in the top right. It's just an example. You might have a couple of these. Let's go make a couple more. Do they have us? Like, I'm looking for a scroll. Here we go. This little scroll here. Maybe actually no. It'll be a rune. Let's get a rune stone. Do we have a rune stone? Don't fail me. Do not fail me. Give me a magical rune, please. I might have to make one. That's sad. It's almost everything. The reason I want a rune is because this thing here looks like a when it's called over here, it's called a moonstone. And in Northgard, which is another game that inspires me a lot actually when it comes to this game, Northgard has something like that. Make sure to optimize your game. It will look better. It will definitely look better at higher frame rate. Yeah. So because I would want to do my AI as possibly GPU particle characters, just like literally this is a sprite, just bobbing around to different areas of the map on splines to optimize it, and that's something I've never done. That's why it's on the may or may not happen list, because it's like I have an idea of the technical direction I would take it, but I just don't know if I'm going to have time to explore it because I haven't got an example of my own that I've done before in that tech. But I know it's possible. What I'm not going to do is have a million blueprints just chugging up the scene. Now, if you've ever watched like a gamer like Let's Game It Out, you'll notice like games that are built by big studios like Satisfactory, of course, break down at some point. I'm not worried about that. I think I'm going to be okay because when you zoom out, I'm going to simplify a lot of stuff. When you zoom in, you're focused on like one tile at a time. So that's as complex as it can ever get. When you're zoomed out, there's only so far you can zoom out. So if you've built like loads of tiles outside the area, I only ever have to worry about optimizing the ones in the middle. And then if you drag, I get to like pull away these ones and then show you these new ones. So hopefully, optimization wise, we will be fine. I could even use GPU instancing like hierarchical mesh instances for the actual tiles themselves, which of course I should definitely do. But then the textures on top need to be editable in a certain way. So we'll see. There is no rune stone, unless I'm blind. But there's no runes. There's no rune. There's no magical. There's nothing magic in here. The closest thing to magic I've seen is the potions and this scroll, which this scroll could just be a letter from the king, right? But there's actually missing magic. It's got demons and it's got fairies. Magic exists in this world. Oh, I'm gonna have to do some actual labor and make an art, which but the better thing for time is to just skip the idea of a runestone and instead we'll do lettuce. The lettuce leaves. Yeah, something cozy like this in the corner I think will be cool. I'm just going to put a little post-it note here that just explains why that even exists. All right. So we've mentioned a few things, right? One of the other things that I haven't mentioned yet is the paths. I'd really like to get either dynamic or player-placed paths in. Paths and roads. So roads are solid, paths are dotted. Or it's like minor, major paths and roads, right? Yeah, when you're zoomed out, you probably won't see anything more than this. So a couple more of these on the sides. What's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Say 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 draw calls for the geometry max. Some more for the material. So let's say 50. 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450, 500, 550. We're, I mean, I'm already at like 500 draws, and I'm not filled the whole screen, and we can go up to like 5,000. We can get quite a few in there. Now, if the tiles themselves that are the same, like these forests, and these forests over here, if they're part of a hism, that'll be even simpler. Because there'll be less draw calls. Simply put, there'll be less draw calls. Optimization wise, we're thinking about that a little bit ahead of time. But when I go into engine, I do want to do this with my best foot forward. So, what other ways could we do the optimization? We could. What could we do? I want it to be possible to trace against these items, so they can't, like, these cannot be made from Niagara. If I was, again, I'm not versed enough with it yet. I need to do some coursework. Um, I need to spend some hours just learning that stuff, and it's always in my own hours, so it just doesn't get done. Because I've spent time with family. So I will get to Niagara, and then I'll be able to determine whether making this in Niagara is smart or not. I don't think it makes sense. For these splines, definitely. Um, I don't want to I don't want to have the old school version of splines where it's like a spline component with spline meshes. I'd either do it through PCG or I'd do it through. That is a good thing to remember. PCG. Could we do this with PCG? It would automate the creation of the hisms for us. Yeah, could do it with PCG. And we just inject data into the data set, but then we'd have to regenerate it every time, and regenerating it would be quite expensive. Um, we're gonna go around and find out, I think, is what we're gonna do. Got to run for a bit. We'll be back in lurk mode to help with the views. Cool, man. Thanks. Uh, appreciate you. Appreciate you a bunch. Let's uh, let's do let's do the leap. We've got an hour. We've got an hour. Let's get a to-do list going. Time for a to-do list. We don't have a name for the game. I'm going to call it Loop World for now. I'm going to just minimize this down and lift it up here a little bit. Let's create some tasks. So obviously we need to import the artwork. I'm not going to list that as a task, but that is kind of necessary. We're going to need the hex grid as our like placement algorithm. So we'll do start tile and ghosts. That'll be the first thing that we create that we can click on, right? And then from there we'll have random tile options, or just we'll call it the terrain tile hand. This is your hand here. We'll have like smooth, snap, hex positions. So placing it down. Structure hand. Structure placement and naming. Second ring, or second loop, I think we wanted to call it. Repeat everything that we've just done. More tiles, more tiles, more structures. The naming asset here. We've got the zoom out and new biomes. New worlds. I don't know what I'm going to call it. We'll see. And that will get us our core loop, right? So let's get started with that. Start tiling ghosts. Let's go. I'm warm. I'm really warm. It's one of those days where I have a really good idea of what I want to make, but I'm going to melt to death doing it. Okay, so we're an hour 49 in. For anyone who missed it, we're doing a game jam called Loop. It's the idea of building a world out of these tiles and having little characters kind of populate them, and having a bunch of fake resources that don't mean anything populate our UI as the buildings and structures around the forests and things are just accumulating over time. The loop portion is you start here, you pick a name, you pick a tile, you go in a circle placing tiles from a hand down on the world. You then place structures on there, and you can name those structures as well. You then zoom out one, loop, do another loop, do the same thing. So that's your loop, right? Finish your area, and then you zoom out again, and now you start a bigger tile loop. You go back to the beginning of the game loop, and you do it all again. But what you end up with is this really cool open world that's all these different things going on, and in the ideal scenario, a bunch of little like creatures, animals, birds flying around, boats in the water. I do want to have water tiles. That's one thing I do want to have. I'm going to have a bunch of biomes. So here's the biomes, right? We've got pine, oak, deciduous, meadow, grassland, hills, swamp, jungle, valley, mountain, desert, wheat, coast, ocean, ship, which we're not going to use, and Arctic. So we're going to have 5, 10, 14, 15, because we're going to have Arctic as well. And we might use some of these as well, possibly. I don't know what we'll do with those, but those do look fun. This may be stressful for you since this is a big project. It very well may be. It honestly depends. If I get this loop here done today, I'll be happy. Because then I can go in and I can say, oh, when you place a tile down, they ripple. And when you do a placement of a structure, this happens and the numbers happen. And I actually added these in the end. And all these little things get added on top. And it becomes this really nice game. But even if I just get this loop done, where you perform the action of the story that I want, the experience that I want the player to go through, and we can create this, and there's no polish, I'm still a happy boy. I'm still a happy man. Still happy boy? Happy man boy. I'm still happy, if that is the case. So, without further ado, Unreal Engine time. Let's check my messages. Apparently I have some messages here. Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. That's all good. Cool. Threads. Got my Slack going on here. I'm going to talk today about doing some stuff with a CAD game that I've got. Okay. I need to know what version those assets are made for. So we have these, but we need to know what the fab assets version is. Steven Colling is the person who made the artwork that we're looking at today. This is the stuff here. We scroll down, we can see this goes to 5.4. So we're going to be building this in 5.4. It means we're not going to have all the AAA, most recent, and possibly unshippable content. And that's probably a good thing. So we'll bring this over, and we've got 5.4 here. We'll just launch that up. Pray to the game gods, the game dev gods. Pray for rapid solutions, quick thinking, good prioritization. Pray for clarity of mind, lack of doubt. So many things are necessary for this to pan out. I'm really excited about this design. I really like the idea. I really like what it could be. So, on my Unreal Engine open over here, we'll go to games, go blank. Let's just create a blank project. I'm just going to go put it somewhere and name it. Put this in my Game Jams folder. We'll call it Loop Isles. Let's go into Photoshop and give it a name. I need to. Oh, actually, I could probably do it from the Fig Jam actually, because we have the ability to say, if we get this is going to be our title font, right? Let's get something. Just gives us an idea. Back here, we'll call this like Loop Isles. That just looks like it says Lop Isles. Lop Isles. If anyone's got name suggestions, now's the time. I could do like 2 of these as the O's. I mean, I actually hate logos that do this. I'm not a logo designer, as you may have well immediately realized. You may have immediately realized this, but I'm not a massive logo graphics designer, despite having done graphics design at A levels, which is I guess the equivalent of like a minor diploma over here. I don't know, maybe. Maybe if these were rotated. Obviously the guy shouldn't be there. What other names could I do? Just call it what he called it. Isles of Lore. Isle of Lore. Loop World. Loop tiles. Loop tile. Tile o loops. Loopy Tiley. This is the one. I'm going to make sure that we know that this is the one by putting a star on it. I'm going to call it Loopy Tiley. Not serious. We're going for Loop Isles. I don't know what we'll do with it, but add advancements to the game. I'm not going to add any sense of progression to the game jam. because this is going to take me too long. The only progression is that the world gets bigger. There'll be no tech advancements. There'll be no data management or tracking of. So say these levels, right? This isn't going in the game jam to influence anything. It's purely there for aesthetics and to make you feel good that think numbers go up good. Because I'd of course love to have like meaningful tech advancements that do something meaningful that the player can say, "Oh, I made the right choice here. I decided to level up my forest thing, which has given me more wood, which has let me unlock something that unlock, right? Islebound loop, that's a cool one. But yeah, the advancements, I mean, I can fake them. I'm totally down for writing it down as an idea for being like similar to the resource circles. It's like building advancements. Similar to resource circles, the questions don't make sense, and the numbers don't matter. As a reference back to a really good TV show. Islebound loop. The Islebound sounds like something ChatGPT came up with. Don't know why, but I feel like that's something ChatGPT would suggest. I like it though. You're islebound. You're doing loops. It's an islebound loop. Loopy loopy. Let's just have one little thing on the left. See that? That's your game. You're like, oh yeah, I've seen this game before. It's the one with the really bad logo. If anything, it's a compliment. You are as educated as an enormous large language machine. Yeah, try ChatGPT. Go ahead. I would also do that. I went with loop isles, but I like Islebound. I like Islebound. Full stop. Is that a game? It's probably a game, right? To Steam. I mean, that's another thing. Is maybe we should check Steam. Steam. There we go. Right, store. Islebound. Islebound. I don't think it exists. Islebound game. Islebound board game, which is set on a boat. So it's possible. Might have to suffix or prefix it, like Islebound loop, for example. I will. There's nothing I can do to decently grab this name before I don't have the name, so I'm not going to even bother. That just looks like honey. Yeah, we'll go with Islebound at minimum. Islebound loop, if necessary. But we're going with Islebound. Great suggestion. Potato soup. I'll send you your check in the mail. Just send that to my non-existent PO box. Game Jam's Islebound. No starter content, please. It is scalable quality. Target platform is mobile. so that we have like the least number of like expensive features as possible. Create. After a solid 2 hours of planning, preparation, game loop creation, conceptual polish ideas. This is from a YouTube, from a tweet, and I don't remember who tweeted it. Yeah, okay, we're in Engine. We don't want this map. We want a new empty level. I'm going to save it as new folder in content, Islebound. New folder in here, maps. New level in here. We'll call this level underscore level underscore Islebound, I suppose. It doesn't really matter because it's just going to be blank to start with. As we go through our checklist is to create a start tile and some ghosts. Okay, we need to import the asset packs. So let's grab Fab. Okay, so we've got all these. Click, click. I don't know where these are opening. I'll just click them here. Add to project. Go back a file. Click on this one. Add to project. Back a file. Click on this one. We're just going to add them all. Yeah. Add to project. These icons. Don't think I'm going to need these. I do like the campfire though. Do like the campfire. But we're not really having any gameplay where statuses are going to have an effect. There is a cool chicken in here. But I think there's a chicken in one of the other packs, so that's fine. Overworld stuff, add that to the project. The inked stuff is also really cool. But again, I think it's kind of more so made for playing a video game. But it does have these cool UI entries, possibly. If this is actually in there, I'll be really happy, but if not, I'll be really annoyed. Which version do you want? I'll take 427. The release just before 5. We also have some fonts that I need to import. So if we look at textures, actually, content, texture, we have a ton of multiple sized assets. It does look like we have some preset tiles, so that's cool. There's some preset tiles. There's more preset tiles. This is looking good. What I was worried about was that the tiles wouldn't be preset and I'd have to make them and the game jam would end here because I'm not going to sit there and make a ton of tiles. Yeah, so this is great. What I can do is I can data manage these into data assets that are like, these are the tiles that are available for this biome, and the player will be given a certain number of them. So that'll be cool. I love that it's done through an alpha and it's just like massive textures just like rammed together. It's pretty cool. Yeah, mountain wheat. We have like crossover stuff, which is kind of cool. The ocean stuff I'm really excited for, like the coastal regions, and sort of having like almost a Vietnamese islands kind of area. That I'm excited for, because ultimately this is all just data management at that point. Once the core gameplay is done. Changes to the source content up into text. Don't import those. Okay, so I need to import some fonts, right? So Islebound will go new folder fonts. Go here. We will go. I think it's downloads. No, it's in my assets library. Sorry, talking a lot. Too tight. Drag it in. Yes, make a font face. Awesome. That's the first font. Next font. Font number 2, please. This one. Font Pigeon. Honey Pigeon. Cool. That's 2 fonts. If we go look at this, we can see down here we've got that sort of like bubble font. And we can see down here, this is not as exciting, but it is a good font for sort of like common text word stuff. So possibly settings, possibly not. Another thing that I don't have is the UI. So UI, new folder art. We have in the Isle of Lore an Isle of Lore final pack that has like a bunch of stuff in it, right? Just deciding what I'm going to do here. So we've got some example frames. I'm guessing what the case is they've given us one of these, and then we're expected to duplicate them. Got some tooltip buttons, though they're not as cute as I'd hope. This is cool. That might replace... No, I'm not going to. I'm going to do the circles. The circles were cuter. This is cool. I want these. So I think... Man, there's just so much stuff. Oh, cute cursors. I want cute cursors. Yeah, I want cute cursors. I want all of those. I don't know which ones I'm going to use. Let's go here, cursors. We're just importing assets now. This is, oh, it's so fun. Sprite actions, paper 2D, I guess. No? Are you serious? Gave me the cursor. Gave me the cursor, it's not PNG. All right, we'll get rid of those. Gamepad buttons, not going to need them just yet. I'll look at the gamepad buttons later because they are pretty good. I do like those. Mouse. Oh, the mouse icons are good too. Oh man, this pack is amazing. Sorry, it's like not very often I see these kind of icons that are soft, cute, bubbly, and good. And I look at a lot of them. So happy. I'm happy. These are just, I guess these are because they're file examples. So let's go back. Sources. We have input miscellaneous. Let's look at this. Example portrait. What we got here? Yeah, I don't want that. Don't. Oh, I've actually got the source files, which is awesome. UI pack big key names. Empty. Shift, shift, shift. Caps, caps, caps. Tap, tap, tap. I don't know what that. Don't know what that is. Elements. Oh yeah. Here we go. This this amount of nesting is going to cause me a hemorrhage when I'm in Unreal, because this is going to be folder after folder after folder. So what I'm going to do is not that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to look at this. It's a PNG. I'm going to type PNG. That's the PNG. I'm going to go back, go PNG here. Take all of these, cut, back, paste, and then delete these folders. That's one. That's one. Banner. It's very blue. It could have been white, and then it would be very usable. This looks like it's part of like a composite window. We got some shading items. Buttons, 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 buttons. And they're all blue, which I will just desaturate back to white in Engine because I don't want that. I like these tick boxes. These are nice. These are really nice. So like settings menu is going to be pretty cool. Dialog box that's a 9 slice expandable. That's very good. The left hand side of a box. The left hand side of a box without gradient. Some of this stuff I can actually make in Unreal's material editor, so it might not be necessary 100%. Inventory slot. Yeah, it does look like an inventory slot, I agree. And I like I like it. It's exactly what I used it for. I didn't even know it was an inventory slot. I was just like, I like that, and I want to use it. Progress circle. I guess he's got all the stages, so you can make it a little bit. It's not material driven. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Radio button. Yeah, it's a basic radio button. Cool. Diamond. I love this. Scroll bar diamond. That's neat. That's cool. Scroll bars. Yeah. Okay. So what I need to basically do is just type PNG. Just grab literally everything. Cut it. Actually, no, I don't even need to do that. I just need to go here. PNG. Grab it all and just drag it in. Boop. Are you sure you want to override the asset cursor toggle button 0 dot toggle button 0? Are you sure you want to override it? Oh, I know what's happened. Apply to all, no. I think I know what's happened. Got all of our cool UI. That's not supposed to all be there. It's supposed to be here. I think I probably still had the residual like redirectors or something for the original cursors. I do have the cursors though, so we're good there. So we can play around with that a little bit later. Okay, so fonts. I have a map. Next thing to do is edit our preferences, I think. I want to make sure that that's all set up. For the Isle of Law game, we're going to go for a nice forest green as our grid color. Break on blueprint exception, so that if we have bugs in our code, it will just debug it immediately. Startup map, for in case we crash, is last opened. And then when we open our first blueprint, we'll set up our save on compile, so that'll be fine. Okay, so we've got the UI pack. We're not bringing in the controls just yet. I want to double check I got everything. Font, that thing. We do have a tile builder, but we're not going to play with that. That'll be something I could do outside of this. I've actually only got half an hour left. And then I have a meeting. And I need to have a break. So, let's get one tile in. Let's get one tile in our world, I think. I want it to be 3D, because I want to play with the height variation over the world as like a... So when your ocean is there, it's like lower, and when your islands are there, it's like they're on cliffs. It's like a little cute raised platform of islands. In order to do that, though, we'll need something for that. We'll need a hex that matches the shape of the hex that we're building. So let's make a plane. And let's stick hex tiles here, textures, tiles, textures. Hills is good. Yeah, we'll go with this. Cool. So we're here. We are Y facing, which we don't want to be. I think we want to be X is forward here, because that's going to change to Z eventually. And then it'll be X. Oh man, it's going to change in so many ways when they change the orientation of this. Pick our outliner here. We're probably going to need a sky light. Make sure we're putting these things in folders, because otherwise it's going to get really unwieldy really fast. So world, lighting, it's another thing in the project settings. Actually, I'm going to disable auto exposure. Auto exposure is off. Good. Don't want it. We've got a black scene right now, so let's go to our skylight details. I want a specified cube map that is just a white texture. Now, that one thing that I'm going to say is they are not the same color. And it's, if I look away and then I look back, at least it doesn't change color, but it definitely isn't the same color. I'm not going crazy. I'm also working on a monitor that actually has a known faded display. If I put this on my other monitor, it's more contrasted. It's brighter. It's more colorful. I put it on this monitor. It's basically gray. So I'm working. I should swap my monitors over and have my good monitor on this side. Anyway. So if I turn the sRGB off, we get to see what it looked like 2 seconds ago. But now I think the material that this is using is having a problem. Yeah, so it's SM6, type as color should be linear now because we're not using sRGB. Let's make sure that we are using standard tick boxes in here and figure out why the scene is so bright. What I need to do in order to test this kind of, hopefully, well, what happens if I hit play? I get to look around. Okay. And if I hit play, it's still really faded. Okay. Hey, at least we got a tile in. We got a tile in. That is going to be where I end it here. I need to go get food. I then have a meeting where I'm going to discuss games development. Who knew? I will be back for the implementation portion of this Games Jam. The first implementation portion of this Games Jam. Later today, 1 p.m. PST, probably. Possibly 2 p.m. PST, depending on if I feel like I need a longer break. I will see you all back here promptly. No dilly-dallying. At possibly 1, possibly 2 p.m. I'm uncertain. It's like you can't really you can't really give demands when you don't have a solid plan. A good leader knows exactly when the time is, but hey, you know, we're not going to be late. A technical designer is never late, nor are they early. I've been listening to Lord of the Rings in the background, by the way, the whole time, just to get into it's like method development. If I'm making a sci-fi game, I have to listen to cyberpunk and funk. If I'm making a medieval fighting game, I have to listen to like lo-fi tavern music or Lord of the Rings. Yeah, if I'm making Wipeout, I have to listen to drum and bass. Like if I'm making like racing game or something with like funky graffiti or abstract art styles, I'm like drum and bass. Like old drum and bass though, not new drum and bass. Thanks everyone for joining. I know there's 9 people in the chat right now. I appreciate it. I appreciate you all turning up, and let's give me a follow on itch.io. It's low-key game dev, so you can see the final product. If you don't happen to catch the rest of the streams, follow me on itch.io. It will be uploaded there for the game jam, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace. Can anyone actually hear me? Because no one's typing in chat. Someone told me recently that I should ask everyone in chat to say 1. Just put a 1 in chat. 1. Enter. Bam. That way I will know. I'm waiting for ones. Not leaving. Not leaving until I get some ones. I can hear you. Hey, potato soup. When we come back, I'm gonna have like Action Rambo ready hair for the next part of the stream. It's a shame that this tile is not the right color. One. Sad. All right, yeah, Sad. Your new name. Thanks for joining us. Potato soup. Seen you before. Hope you're doing well. Fun video. Yeah. Cheers. I'm glad. I try to be both entertaining and educational. I'm a little bit of a goof, so I hope that doesn't turn people off too much. But I can be serious when I want to be serious. You'll see. You'll see in this Games Jam. If you follow me through this Games Jam, you'll see what I'm like when I'm like really thinking about something, like solving a problem. I get really intense. Um, I basically have like game dev bipolar disorder. It's all happy until it's like deadly serious. Right. Anyway, we'll see. We may experience that in this Games Jam. We definitely experienced it in the last one. Always good stuff. Thanks very much. Yeah, glad. Cool. If you haven't seen the other videos before Sad, go check out the channel. There's some cool ones. There's a 1 hour one that's like a fab one that was pretty cool. We did one on the peak UI, like status bars. That was really cool. We sort of just like jam out different ideas. So we've done different streams, like different inventories. I want to do more map stuff soon. We're going to do, I have an idea to do the history of quest logs in games. So that's something to look forward to. Until then, I'm going to go get some lunch. Thanks for joining. See you all in a bit.